Hi, so in this video I'm going to continue working on implementing MPV player integration for my search and subscript, which I'm very close to finishing this project. But in the last video we implemented the last option that I had on my list of the options that I wanted to implement, and basically, just like a short demonstration, we now have um, um, we now have the script tell us when there was a file that couldn't. There was a subtitle file for which no corresponding video file could be identified, or several such subtitle files, and it will display a warning showing that no video files corresponding to this particular file couldn't be identified. And now if that's the only file that we're searching, and the search will still take place, but the player won't open, it'll say that no EDL files were generated because no video files could be found. But we can also tell it to be stricter than this and say that, like, even if there is at least one file that is missing, just don't generate anything and throw an error in that case. So that's what we implemented last time. And like in this video, I wanted to take a look at the algorithm that determines what file what is the corresponding video file to this particular subtitle file. Right now it determines the name of that file in the following fashion. It basically starts with the name of the subtitle file. Like over here you can see that both the variable for the video file and for the subtitle file, like in both of these two cases, they are set to the same value here and here. That's the starting point. But then the .srt extension is removed, and then a language suffix, like one of these possibilities, this long string, it just lists all of the possible language, like this kind of secondary extension, or I don't know what to call it, but like it would be like .en.srt, for example, for an English subtitle, or something like .de.srt for a German one. And so that de or en gets removed as well. And then what is left is taken as the basis for determining the video file's name. And so what this line does, and it basically says list all of the files that start with this name that we just determined, without all of the .srt or potentially .en, etc. And that start with that, and that don't end in SRT or any of those preceding extensions, and create an array out of that. And so if there's only like one file that matches that, for example, maybe in your folder you have something like I have here, this is the video file, and here's like two subtitle files. So these end in .srt and like .en.srt and .sv.srt for Swedish and English, and so this base name gets inferred from the name of the subtitle file that the search is performed on, like this one. So the base name becomes this, and then it looks for everything else that's not SRT, and this is the only file, so that becomes the video file. If there were several of those files there, then it would just take the first one that it found, basically. Like over here it creates an array, and then it just takes the first element out of that array, and says like that, yeah, that's our file. We could try and improve this algorithm a little bit, and I looked into it and thought about how we could do that. Basically, there's this utility called file. It's a standard command, and it can determine something that's called a MIME type, which is basically a type of the file that it looks like this. It says video slash webm, but we were only really interested in this first part, video. So we can check the contents of this array further and see like that the file is indeed a video file, because there could be like another file there in the folder. For example, maybe there's an external chapters file or something, or an external audio file, but we are interested in the video, but like there's no way to tell. Basically it's just like gonna be like gonna end up in this array in an order that those files happen to get sorted, and it's probably gonna be like alphabetically. So if an extension has like a letter that comes before the first letter in the video file's extension in the alphabet, then the wrong file will get inferred, and so the end result won't work. The ideal file won't be playable probably. Yes. And so we can try and mitigate that by adding this check. There's also like a secondary check we could do, like potentially it doesn't really have to be a video file, it could also be an audio file. But if there are both video and audio files in that directory that match these criteria and end up in this array, then we should prefer the video file. And then if there's no video files, then we'll take the first audio file that's there, because that's probably the one that we want. The reason someone might have that is, again, like sometimes you can have an external audio track next to the video named with the same name, and that's kind of a pretty standard situation if you have that, like that kind of setup with those, like with that's kind of set of files with external audio tracks. So that's like a possibility, and we can make an improvement to our algorithm by using this file utility. So let's go through and see what is happening here. Essentially, the MIME type is the main option. So let's see what it does. Like if I don't pass any options, first of all, it like prints the file name. We don't need that. And then it says it's a symbolic link to another file, which it is in my case. I just have it like the reason why it's a symbolic link is because I have multiple versions of the same file downloaded with different resolutions, and then just linked to the one that I usually play, but I still want to have the other ones, and that's how I did it with a symbolic link. So that's why it's a symbolic link. So to treat the symbolic link as a like to resolve, like to refer to the file that to get the information about the file that the symbolic link is actually referring to, we can use this dereference option. So if I pass it, then we get a different output. It says webm. It's interesting that yeah, I mean, that's I guess that's how it formats it. Symbolic link to such and such, and then it's a webm file. So we really should use the MIME type option right away, because that's what we're interested in. So I'll pass it to that, gets us this output, and this is very close to what we can easily kind of parse in the script. So yeah, we can also get rid of this file name because we don't need it, by using the brief option, and then we get the video webm only. Now for audio, let me just actually do a quick extraction of audio from that from that video file. So I'll just use ffmpeg for that. And I'll just use like MP3 or something, and that should just do a quick extraction, like a conversion probably, but I don't really, it doesn't matter. Like I'm not after preserving the quality right now. I just need an audio file to test it with. And so we can see what that outputs. So now it's audio/mpeg. Like what is after the slash we're not really interested in. It's just like gonna be audio or video, which is perfect for our purposes. Yeah. So let's implement it. So we're gonna loop through this array and go like for I don't know, like I'll just say I for now. For I and video. I mean, I could say like video file. Yeah, that's fine. I can say video file, and I can just rename this to video files, since we're gonna be like determining the file based on that, and we can create a new variable, and then just break out of the loop at the point where. Well, no, we can't actually break out of it, but that's how I'm gonna name it anyways. It makes more sense. And yeah, also like it could be audio files too, but it's more like video file candidates or something like that. Maybe I could call it that. But or just candidates, and go like candidate and candidates. Done. So what do we need? We do need to loop through the entire array. We can't just like stop at the first video, or like the first yeah, maybe. Okay, what I'm gonna do is just like find all the video files in that array, find all the audio files in that array, and then make the decision after all of the looping is done. So I'll just create an array here called video files and audio files. Yeah. And so I'll have a variable here called MIME type, and I'll just copy this from here. File dereference brief MIME type of candidate, and basically then we can check we can like case MIME type and SAC video /star, because we're not interested in like a subtype, and audio /star, and so video, we just add that to video files equals candidate, and audio files equals candidate. So this should, or not equals actually, but plus equal, of course, we're adding to the array. Okay, so this will just filter out only the files types that we're interested in. And now we can see basically if the length of the video files array is greater than 0, then video file is equal to the first video in that array, which you can simply refer to by the name of that variable, video files. I mean, I could like just write it like this too. I don't know. Is that clearer? Yeah, why not? And then else if let me just save myself some typing. Audio files. And I'll copy this line and just replace video with audio. Or no, I'm not gonna do that. Audio. Video file equals the first one out of the audio file. So like in that case, instead of the video, we're gonna be using the audio. But the variable is called video file, and I don't know what else to call it. Like media file. I mean, SRT file is also a media file. Like it's a textual medium. I don't know. Like we'll just say video file, and yeah, that's it. So I mean, this should be fine. So let me try to first run just one of those commands that we ran earlier. We don't need to worry about these like or actually no, that might be not a bad idea to include a file that doesn't have any media file. Yeah, media file. Any video or audio file alongside it. And file. Ah, okay. Or wait a second. Why is it? Yeah. I guess, let me see what this is a custom function that I have that allows me to look into inside the contents of arrays easier and like in a more readable way. Let me silence all of that search output and just see what is going on there? Candidates, not candidate. Well, I should say also like else video file equals nothing.
Att man som historielärare måste vara duktig. Alltså om man ska...
Because otherwise it will just I think like a previous value might end up in that variable or something. Oh, like we have also a variable called video file here. Yeah, and just like so this value will end up over there. I mean, it's kind of weird that we have video file here and switch to candidates, but we still end up with video file. I guess it's okay. Don't think it's too confusing. Maybe I could rename video file to media file, or I don't know. I don't like that terminology for some reason. Yeah.
Att man som...
Let me prevent MPV from opening by passing dash frames equals 0 to it, like this, so that we're not distracted by that. So okay, I mean it did work, and we can see that there was an MP3 file there which like came first actually in that candidates array, so that wouldn't have worked with the previous algorithm. So this is good. So just like for an experiment's sake, let me rename this video file to just like temporarily break the connection basically. And see if it creates an EDL with that MP3 file as the video, so to speak. File. This is a directory adding to playlist. I mean that didn't make sense.
Att man som historielärare måste vara duktig. Alltså om man ska kolla upp en historisk händelse så kollar jag alla Wikipedia.
Med sina elever.
I mean, you can see that like that worked. I'm not sure why this is arising. This is a directory adding to playlist, or I guess it comes across a directory there somehow. Or wait, what? Wait, how does that end up there? This isn't a message from MPV, right? I think so. What is a directory exactly? That doesn't make sense. Hold on a second. Let me echo out that MPV thing and see what it gets. No directories there. Like, what are you talking about? And it it's definitely a message that came from MPV, because now it's not appearing. Now that I'm just echoing that line. So this is kind of weird. I'm not sure why that is happening. let me keep that cache and take a look at it more closely. So here ls dot cache. Search and subs video. I also don't really get why are we not getting like warnings anymore that something doesn't quite work. Let me put that video back as it was and regenerate this whole thing. Why are we not getting like warnings about, because I'm passing no video as well, there's no warning about it not having. Yeah, I mean obviously there's no I mean, like, kind of confused here. Vim-p. Like, what changed? Okay, now that is not working somehow. But why? We're just... I think the variable names are all the same, like... but something did change, definitely. So let me see. What if I just comment out what I just added? And duplicate that line and just restore it to the previous value video file. So that we can see. Okay, so now it works as before. So how is this part messing with things? Like, it only really takes a little detour. Okay, so let me see that what that video file variable contains. Okay, in this case it's this. And that's with the new code. What about the old code?
Att man som historielärare.
That's like weird. The difference is not really that big, but apparently there's something that. Okay. No, this is not what I wanted. I wanted to. So, like, this is the results with the old code. And this is with the new code. So, like, I mean, it doesn't really matter that it's an array, I don't think. What is this, like, adding? This is a directory thing, like, how, what is a directory? Like, where is that coming from? Don't get it. Also, with the new code, somehow these ranges still do end up here. Okay, where is that happening? Ah, okay, let's see. Yeah, okay. I just need to change this too, because this works on the assumption that it's an array, but we just don't need to do any array stuff anymore with this. And let's see. Okay, so now that that this is the directory message went away. I still don't get where it came from, but I think now it's working because now I'm getting the same warning that like I should as here. So let's play it and see what happens.
Att man som historielärare måste vara duktig. Alltså om man ska kolla upp en historisk händelse så kollar jag.
Let's try just like a different structure, just I don't know, just in case. Subder hidden
Att man som historielärare måste vara duktig.
works fine. Alright, so I think that should do it. Yeah, okay. Let me remove this pretty declared thing. Okay, so like one thing that I wanted to check, and I'm pretty sure that this is okay, but like I read somewhere that, let me do this, like the MIME type thing. I heard that, or like I read somewhere and I got the impression that it might not always be accurate, so I want to know how accurate is file utility for determining the MIME type. Upload code, that's not okay, so the file utility examines the contents of the file before reporting its type. This is good. I mean, not that. Yeah, I mean, this is it's good. It's more accurate. File correctly reports image PNG, but it's DigiMime, like if an extension was wrong. Like, and these two both incorrectly report image JPEG. Yeah, just because the extension was JPEG, but it actually was a PNG. Yeah, I mean, it's probably good. Let me look for in the man page. Accurate, like more accurate, reliable. I mean, to be honest, like just the extension check would be just fine for this script. But I mean, I wouldn't mind that if it could go beyond that. Trust. What else could they say? accuracy, reliability, trustworthiness. Robust, I don't know. Let me look through it a little bit. Is there anything like, sometimes there's a caveat section or something. Standards, conformance, security, magic directory, history. I mean, it's probably okay. One other consideration is file utility present on all Linux distributions? On Linux, I don't know. Is a standard program on Unix and Unix-like operating systems for recognizing the type of data contained in a computer file. I mean, sounds like it's a solid way to do this thing that we're doing. Specification, usage. Okay, this is fine. All right, so I think that we're good here. Basically, yeah. Like the only thing I have left over here in my node is to just update the configuration file, which I can do now, by the way. Let me do that. It's extremely simple. It's just copying this, all these defaults, and pasting them here, and then just commenting them out. Like that's just how I do it currently, at least. I also have this like config that is just configured on my system for this utility. No, that's not what I want to paste here. I will update this stuff there as well. So did this. The man page, I will write some stuff, like I'm not gonna do it on video, like it's not really important to do it in that way, but yeah, update version. Let's update the version. So it's gonna be 0.20 because it's a major feature that's been added. So yeah, I mean, let me open that man update that I have here, and let me copy what I have so far to the main man page. And I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you how I convert the man page to the help message in the app. So I have a script for that, and the script converts everything. So like, yeah, I think like I'm missing something here, some option maybe. I'll look into it later, and that's okay. I also need to put this into the files section. Configuration file, and here we're gonna have something for about the cache. A few words about that. I'll also add like like an exit code for the failure of EDL generation. EDL generation failed, but no errors have occurred. I mean, I'm tempted to say no other errors, but then it's not, doesn't match this, but then no, the fact that no matches were found doesn't sound like an error, so like, I'm not sure, but that's probably not that important. Let me show you my script that can convert that man page to a help message. So I called it man to sed, or not to sed, but man to help. It's a sed script, and I can just pass the man pages file into it, and it, okay, like in this case I have very long lines here, and I need to fix that. Let me do that. Yeah, that is not gonna work. I have like a thing in that script, if I remember correctly, that can like deal with these situations, like by putting a comment here. But maybe I'll rewrite it later. Let me see if this works. I don't exactly remember if I implemented it into the main script, but I did it in some repo. Okay, no, this does not look right. Well, anyways, I can just, for now, simplify that line. And worry about the script later. Value. Comment that out. Value. Doesn't look right. Why is this happening? Not really sure. Maybe this comment is messing it up. Like it should be just 2 columns. Some syntax error is occurring. Okay, apparently the script breaks because of something. Not sure what that is. But it's unfortunate. It's really not really the time to get into that. Let me try removing something. Just to show what the script does. It's probably one of these options, so we can try doing this here. Like basically it outputs a thing like this, and then I can copy it by using xclip, for example, and then after I xclipped it, I can just put it here into help. But I'm not gonna do it right now because there's some fixes that need to be made. But I'll get to that later, and by the time I release this video, I'll also publish this new version of Search and Subs on GitHub, and I'll update the docs and everything. Yeah, so that's the plan. So thanks for watching. I hope you found this video interesting, and this entire series as well. I just kind of, the reason I wanted to do it is just like to demonstrate the process of working on a script like Search and Subs, and yeah, just to share the process and certain parts that might be easier to explain as you do it. And kind of show all of those things in context of working on something like this. So yeah, okay, thanks for watching, and I hope you found this interesting and valuable, and I'll see you in the next one.